Okay, so Docker volume with 3 use cases, and port forwarding. Fourth one is Docker file uh, examples. Next, troubleshooting Docker file. Next, passing environment variables. Seventh, volume from 8, push image to Docker Hub. Ninth, backup and restore. Link Docker. Okay, usually I'll take like this. Okay, but I don't know how much I can cover in this session. Okay, so it's completely Unix. Some like Docker files and all. You'll have some Unix commands as well. So I'll try to explain as much as I can, but still try to get some knowledge. Okay, fine. So first, let's go and work with Docker in GUI. Actually, usually I won't teach you this because in real time we will work completely in Linux-based machines. Okay, so like I can say 99.5% or 99.8% will work on Linux based machine, but still I have heard 1 or 2 companies are working with Docker in Windows. So but still I'll teach you both as well. So let's work with Windows environment. See here, just go to Google, search for Kitematic downloads. In this website, if you go to this page, right, here based upon your OS, whether it is Mac or Ubuntu or Windows machine, just install it. So it will be like this. So here you have to give your Docker Hub username, Docker Hub passwords. Okay, just go to Google. I said you yesterday itself. Docker Hub. Uh, Here you have to sign up and you will get username and password. That username password you have to give here. So my username is this one. Okay. So now with this you are working the Docker on your local machine. That is in my laptop. So if you create something that will be created in your local desktop or local laptop. Okay. So just search here, for example, HTTPD. So how many people are there? 69. Fine. Okay. So now if you search HTTPD, here you will have create button. So which will launch one container for you. This container will be launched not in your Ubuntu machine. This will be launched on your local laptop or local desktop. Okay. So create. Okay. So now your container has been started. So now just go to your CLI. This is your desktop CLI. Go to CLI command line interface. Open as administrator. Okay, here if you give Docker PS, here PS is that is your container. Your Apache container is running, which is in port 32769. So just go to Google. Here local host. What's the port number? 3279, right? So like this. Okay, this is working GUI. For example, here if you want to stop the container, you can stop the container. If you want to create new container, you can go to this option. If you want to restart the container, you can go for this one. For exe, if you want to log in inside your container, you can log in inside your container. Just search bash. So like this. Yesterday I told you how to log in inside your container, right? So this is the way to work with the CLI. But again, don't forget, all this container will be created in your local desktop. Okay, not in your not in your AWS machines. Fine. This is working Docker with Windows on your local desktop. But again, don't practice here, just to show you how you can work with. That's what I'm teaching here. But don't ever work here. Don't ever practice something here. Okay, fine. Okay. So I'll delete it. Why? Because it will occupy some space in my laptop. That's what I'm just deleting it. Fine. This is your first. Okay. So next use case is Docker volume with 3 use cases. So from here on, I'm just going to teach you some real-time scenarios. Okay, just try to understand the scenarios. Okay, just watch very keenly. Then only you will understand. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So now, what's my use cases? Lakshman, I'll answer your query later. Okay, that is different, completely different. That is my 12th session, 12th topic. So when I'm coming for 12th topic, I'll discuss on this. Okay, now we are only in second one. Okay, so now what your developer is asking is, developer is saying that I need access to this container. I need access to this container. Why? Because everyone knows this is the default path for your Apache. Okay, now your developer is asking you that I need access to this path. Okay, so that I need to place all my static files. Okay, now as an admin, if you give access to this whole container, what developer will do is he might misuse the container, or he might start or stop, or he might corrupt your container. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create, this is my Ubuntu machine, don't forget this. This is my Ubuntu machine. This is Docker, and this is your Apache container, and this is your Apache file. Okay, now this is your developer. Okay, now your developer is asking that I need access to this Apache. Why? Because in this specific file, or in this, sorry, in this specific path, I need to keep some file. Okay, to test some of my index, some of my static file, whether it is working in Apache or not. Okay, now if you give direct access to this container, what developer will do means developer might misuse your container. Okay, he might corrupt your container. Okay, I'm just saying might. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, in my local machine, I'm just going to create one directory. Okay, like this opt/ww, and I'm just going to mount my host machine to this container directory, so that if my developer, I'll ask my developer to place all your static file in this path, so that that will be automatically reflected here. Fine, this is my first use case. I guess everyone would have understood this session. Again, I'll explain you. So this is your Ubuntu machine where you have installed Docker. Then your Apache container is running. Okay. Now your developer is asking access to this path. Why? Because I guess everyone, 71 people are attending. So everyone knows important of this path. That is, this is the path for default path for your Apache. So your developer is asking that I need access to this path in this container to place all my static files. Okay. Now, as an admin, if you give access to this container, developer might corrupt your container. So what I'm going to do is, I am just going to create one directory in my local Ubuntu machine, and I'll ask my developer to place all the static files here. That will be automatically reflected here. This is my scenario. Okay, so let's go and create first. I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this Docker file later when we are dealing with fourth session. Okay, so right now my Docker file is ready. Now Docker build. So everyone knows this command. Apache version 1.0 dot. So yesterday itself I told you what is the purpose of this command. So this is the command to build Docker image. Okay. So Docker images. So your image is complete. Your image is ready. Your image is ready. Now, as per this scenario, I'm going for this scenario. So in local machine, I have to create one directory opt www. Okay. So mkdir slash opt slash www. Okay. So now cd slash opt slash www. Fine. So your this part is done. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch one container, Apache container. Docker. Okay, so everyone knows this command, I guess. Docker run -d -p. I'm just launching the Apache application in 8085. This is the name of your container. -v is volume. This is your local volume. This is your container volume. This is your image name. This image name. Okay. Now, -8085. One sec.
Yeah, hi Ramu, Javagar here. Instead of creating this file here, you can create under opt slash www, right?
Huh?
You're creating a file in where www and HTML.
Correct, correct, correct.
Yeah, instead of that, you can create under OPT, right? OPT slash www. It will anyway. It will going to
No,
reflect
no, no,
there, right?
no, 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 no. I'm just going to show you, show you. Okay. See here, right now, I'm getting this one. Okay, now I'm just asking my developer, okay, your container is ready. Now place whatever files you require, just place it in OPT www. Okay, right now I'm into this path. Okay, so now my developer is here. Now my developer is coming and he is going to place one index.html file. Okay, my local machine. Okay, now he has placed your index.html file in your local machine. Now check here. Understood? So now I didn't give access to the container. I have just asked my developer to place your files in your local machine that will be populated in your container file system. This we will call it as Docker volume. Okay, -v is nothing but Docker volume. Fine. Okay, so this is my first use case. Second use case is you can create Docker volume in another way also, which we will use it in some enterprises level. One sec, I'll take my file. Okay, so now I'm just going to create Docker volume in another way. Okay, so you should know in two ways. That's what I'm teaching in two ways. Okay, so first step, Docker volume create my wall. Okay, so Docker volume create my wall. Then Docker volume ls. So this volume is getting created in your local drive, and Docker volume inspect. In this path, you can, when you get volume, it gets created. This is the path. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this volume to another container. Same like this. Here, command is docker run -itd. This is your name of your container. Mount source. This is your volume. Destination. This is container path. This is container path. And this is image name. Okay. Now I don't have this image in my local, so it is just pulling it from my Docker hub. So now whatever files in this, whatever file in this container, in this path, inside your container, that will be populated here. Now if I go to this path, you will find here. Now I'm in here, I'm just creating touch damo.txt docker ps docker exe -it container id /bin/bash cd sddocs. Because I have mounted this path sddocs here. If I place in my local machine also, you will get here. If I create file here also, it will be populated. It will be, you will get that file in your local machine as well. That means you are just mounting your local file system to the container file system. So in real time, why we are using this Docker volume means Docker volume mainly for backup purpose. What is the backup purpose means? Suppose if your container is lost also, you can retrieve some data. Okay, if you have some important file in some specific file system, then what we will do is using Docker volume, we will mount our local file system to the container file system so that if container is deleted or terminated also, you can retrieve your data. Understood? Fine. So I have shown you 3 scenarios. Any doubts in these 3 scenarios?
Hi, sir. Abhishek here, sir. One small doubt.
Abhishek, right?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, tell me, Abhishek.
Sir, so where file he should not touch. From OPT only he should get. So how that reflection happened, sir? It was due to volume or what?
I didn't understand your question.
So I will tell you. You said like directly the developer should not be able to access the default landing space, right? In the
No,
beginning
no,
you had said.
I'm just saying that my developer should not, I should not give direct access to the container. So what I'm just doing is I'm asking my developer to place in your local machine, in our local machine, that is in our Ubuntu machine, that will be automatically populated in your container file system.
So yeah, that's what my doubt was, that how it is getting automatically this like
That's all.
changing due to volume or what?
Due to volume.
Okay.
Wait, I'll show you that command. No. As you are using -v. Here you are just mounting your local file system to the container file system. Understood?
Okay,
Abhishek?
sir. Yeah, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Any other doubts? Okay. Actually, I have done today three topics, I can say. First one is I've just shown you how to work Docker in your local desktop using GUI mode. So using Kitematic tools, using this Kitematic, tool, you can work with Windows environment on your local machine. So which is not recommended, but as a beginner, if you want to get some idea, you can just work with Kitematic app, because when I was in I like to work in, that is before 4.5 years back, I'm saying I like to work with Windows as like you guys, but now I'm much comfortable with the Linux machine. But still, if you want some basic idea of Docker, you can just play with Kitematic app. Then once you're comfortable, then you can come for Linux machine. It's up to you. But just for beginner level, just go with that. But you cannot gain any knowledge if you go for Kitematic app. Okay, so that's what's my first use case. Second use case is this one. So now you have Ubuntu machine, you have installed Docker, then you have Apache container, and this is your Apache application. So this is the default path for your Apache. Now your developer is asking that I need access to this path. Okay, if you give direct access to the container, the developer might misuse your container. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create one directory here, opt www. I'm just going to mount this local file system to the container file system using an argument -v. Using the argument -v. This same command we have seen yesterday itself. Just I am adding this only. Okay, -v. This is your local file system, and this is your container file system. So if you place file here, that will be automatically populated here. If you place file here, that will be automatically synced here. That's it. Okay, this is one kind of Docker volume. Some people will go with -v. Some people will create volume with this command. So this is the command to create your Docker volume. Even you can go with -v or like this. Both are both way are no, in both ways you can create it. So Docker volume create. This is my volume name. So if you give Docker volume ls, you can see that this volume has been created in your local Ubuntu machine. So when you inspect your volume, this is the place where your volume has been created in your local machine. Now I'm just going to launch your container. That is Docker run -itd. This is the name of your container. -mount source. This is your volume name. Destination. This is your container file system. This is your image name. Now you are just syncing this directory to this volume. Oh, that is it, which is in this path. Okay. Now whatever files here will be backup with this path. If you place file here, that will be synced here. That's it. This is Docker volume. Clear, Naveen? No, it depends upon your file system. Okay. Now, your task. This third use case. Third use case. I'm just going to give you one one task, like how to share data to multiple containers. How to share data to multiple containers. See, whatever task I'm giving in Docker, okay, what I can say, you will get in interviews. Okay, fine. So don't ever miss my task, otherwise you will be in trouble. Okay, so whatever task I'm giving in Docker, if you are comfortable, if you are doing the task, I am 100% sure out of 10 interviews, at least 6 to 7 interviews you will clear. Okay, you can note it down. So my task is how to share data to multiple containers. Very easy. Here, just change the name of your container. That's it. Okay, just I have given you clue also. Just do it. Okay. How to share data to multiple containers. Okay, again, very easy. Just change the name of your container and run same command so that your data will be shared to another container as well. In real time, they would have no. See, this is not last one, right? Just now we are into beginning level, right? So you are asking my last pipeline, which is our last project. I'll tell you. Okay, don't worry. Okay, how to share data to multiple containers. Clear? Fine. One sec. I want to show you something. I'll stop. I'll pause recording here. Okay, fine. Now I'll give you some task. Okay. So some people are asking me notes, videos, and all, right? So now just go to Google. So everyone just go to Google. Okay. Just go to Google and just search here DevOps training in Chennai. Go to Greens Technology. Okay, so here you will get. Okay, so here you will get your notes hereafter. Okay, so just check it out and tell me. So just 2 minutes. Everyone able to, then you should not ping Meet or Karthik. Even we both will won't answer your questions. So just check it out and tell me whether you are able to get their notes or not. So okay, so hereafter just check it out and tell me whether you are able to get the path. Otherwise, then don't ping me that give me the path, give me how to browse and all. That's what I'm showing it in live call itself. So just check it out whether you are getting, okay, and so that fine, everyone. Okay, so hereafter you will get notes recording session like this. Just go to Google DevOps Training in Chennai, go to Greens Technology, and down you will get it. Okay, fine. Fine. Okay. Clear. So you should not ask me to me or to Karthik about recording session. So every before 1 hour, after 1 hour of the session, you will get it. Okay. Done. Okay. So I'll skip. I will hold this let now because already we have seen some Unix command. Um, okay. Let's see how to push image to Docker Hub first. Okay. How to push image to Docker Hub. Okay. Now I'm just going to push this Apache image to my Docker Hub. Okay. Everyone knows what is Docker Hub. Docker Hub is central repository where you can find public images as well as you can store your private images as well. I told you in last session itself. Now what I'm going to do is Docker. First you have to tag your Docker login. It will ask for username. Here you have to give your Docker Hub username and Docker Hub password. So here you will get login succeeded. Now I'm just going to push this Docker image to my Docker Hub. Let's see. So now first you have to tag it, Docker tag. This is my Docker Hub username. I'm just giving 04/2020. So this will be my image name. Okay. Now Docker push okay. So now if you go and check in Docker Hub, right? Docker Hub, sign in. So you got your image. Okay. Now if you want to make this image private, right? How to make private means go to settings. So here, because already I have one private repository. So just here click here, you will find like make private. If you click here private, then you cannot find your image in public images. Clear? This is pushing your image to your Docker Hub and how to make your image private image. Okay, done. So this is done. Okay, next one is port forwarding. Okay, what is port forwarding means? So again, those who don't know Unix, try to bear with me. Okay, See, actually, in Docker, I want to say this. See, in IT, there are two types of companies I can say. One is service-based company, another one is product-based company. Correct? So, in service-based company, I'm saying in most of, I'm not saying in all service-based company. Most of the service-based company, Docker file will be written by your developer. Mostly, I'm saying mostly, not in all. I'm saying. So after this Kubernetes, okay, after this Kubernetes, I'll talk about Kubernetes later. Just hear the word Kubernetes. So after this Kubernetes, the work, the as an infra side, I'm saying as an infra guy, the activity we are doing in Docker is very less, because in most of your activities will be done by your developer itself. Okay, that is Docker file will be given by your developer itself. We have to just build it and we have to deploy our container. That's it. Okay, so but in the interview they'll ask you whether you know to write Docker file. Obviously you have to say yes. If you say no, then they won't take then they won't take you. Even interviewer doesn't know how to create Docker file, but still we will ask you whether you know to write Docker file or not, just to get an idea how one Docker file looks. That's what I'm teaching here. Don't get confused with this. Okay, just get an idea, just get an overview how one Docker file will looks. That's it. Okay. Now here, now as per this scenario, you are giving access to the port number 22, right? So my it is not sure that my developer will access only this path. He might access another path as well. Correct? He might access your root path. He might access your home directory. He might go and check in other directories, other files. He might read something. He might, it might be something. He will do some activities. So now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to restrict still more. Okay, so how to do it means, okay, so this is SSH container, SSH application, and this is your Ubuntu machine, and this is your Docker, this is your container. Okay, this is SSH application, and everyone knows SSH port number is 22, right? Now, if I give direct access to this machine for the port number 22, he might misuse, that is my developer might go and check in other directories, other files and all. So now what I'm going to do is, instead of 22, I'm just going to give access only for some specific port number 2323, so that my developer will come to this machine with the port number 2323. That will be automatically redirects to this container. Okay, again again I will tell you, this is my SSH container. Instead of giving direct access to this machine using the port number 22, because if I give 22 port number, he might go and access other directories, other files as well. So now I want to restrict him. What I'm going to do is, my developer wants access to this container only, right? So what I'm going to do is, just I'm going to open one port number here in my Ubuntu machine 2323. That will be automatically redirects to this container. Okay, so my developer will come to this Ubuntu machine with the port number 2323, and that will be automatically redirects to this container. Okay, understood? Let's see. So mkdir SSHD. I'm just giving SSHD. CD SSHD vi Docker file. Okay, I'll explain this. Docker file. Again, this Docker file in real time, mostly I said, this will be governed by your developer, but still you have to know it. That's what I'm teaching here to get an idea. Okay, from is the source, maintainer who has written your Docker file, run. I'm just updating the apt-get. Apt-get is Ubuntu's default package, update. Then I'm just installing Vim Git. Is not required. Okay, let it be. Okay, next I'm installing Vim, and this is the package name for your SSH. Okay, like the package name for Apache is HTTPD. Same like this for SSH, the package name is Open SSH server -y is S. Okay, now those who don't know Unix, I'll explain this command. Okay, with one example. Now just think that inside one directory, for example, home Ubuntu, you have one file called greens. Okay, now your task is you have to find word damo that should be replaced with Karthik. Okay, this task you have to achieve it in Unix. How you can do is using set command -i. Okay, yes, yes is for search. Okay, you have to find this word and replace with this one. That is in word you will do, right? Find and replace. Find and replace. Same. I'm doing it. Yes. In which file? In this file. Okay. Why I am doing this means by default in SSH you cannot log into the SSH with root user. Even when you are launching some EC2 instance, you have to log in into the EC2 instance with EC2-user. You cannot log in into the EC2 instance via SSH user, right? So that's what I'm just allowing root login. Because I don't know root password. That's what change password. Root is the username. Password is root123. Okay, and just I'm creating one directory for my SSH. Okay, and this is the command to start your SSH server, and I'm exposing port number 22. Okay, so I'm just saving this file. Docker build -t SSHD version 1.0 dot. Now Docker images, your image is ready. Okay, now I'm going to launch the container. So as per this scenario, I have to launch the container with 2323. Okay, so Docker run -itd -name SSHD container. Okay, -t. What is the port number? 2323 22 and your image name. Docker ps. Your container is up. So now you will tell to developer, please log in into this Ubuntu machine with the port number 2323. See the port, the container ID is this one. Okay. So my developer will, this is my public IP. Okay. What's the port number? 2323. Okay. Login as, we have given username as root, password as root123. So now my developer is inside the container. If we give exit, right, you will be out of your Ubuntu machine because you have given access only to the port number 2323 and only for that container alone. This is your port forwarding. So we have seen port forwarding and how to push image to your Docker Hub. Okay, any doubts in this? Any doubts in this? Only 2-3 people are fine. Fine. Okay. See, these are all little bit advanced one. So I don't know how many people are able to understand, but still you will get this recording session. Do it, you will get idea. Okay. Fine. So next one is butter or bitter. Sorry, better or bitter. 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 Okay. So bitter for Prabhanjan and Lakshman better. Fine. So I guess Prabhanjan, you are not good in Unix, might be with my guess. But my suggestion, Prabhanjan, if you want to shine in AWS and DevOps, very must is you have to learn Unix. Okay, so try to learn it. Otherwise, so okay. You are from SQL background, right? So your next is from MySQL. I'll go for MySQL then. See, now I'm just going for passing environment variable. Okay, passing environment variable. Okay, so I need someone to troubleshoot. Who's there? Anyone who's going to troubleshoot with me? Can't we check this in browser with corresponding port number? No, how come? Because you are giving access to PuTTY only, right? SSH is PuTTY. Okay. See here, no one came forward. Okay. See here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch one DB container. This is MySQL version 5.5. Okay, I'm going to launch one DB container. Okay. So I don't have this image. I don't have this image. That image it is pulling from Docker Hub and it is going to launch one container for me. Now, if I give Docker PS, you are not able to see the container. Then how you will troubleshoot? 2 minutes soon, how you will troubleshoot? Because you have launched the container, you are getting here, right? Your container is this one. So why you are not getting here? How you will troubleshoot?
Docker PS -A.
Great, correct. You have to give Docker. Who's that?
Gayatri from Navlu.
Good, good. Okay, so Docker PS-A. Okay, so now if you see here, you are getting exited state. That means your container is not started. Okay, why? Why it is not started? So just go to Docker logs, container ID. All this command I have told you yesterday itself. That's what I told you. Practice my last session and come to my today's class. Okay, Docker logs, container ID. What they are saying? Docker is uninitialized and password option is not specified. So you need to specify one of this parameter. Either you have to pass MySQL root password or MySQL allow root empty password or MySQL random password. Any one parameter you have to pass. Otherwise, you cannot launch your MySQL container. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this container. Why? Because this is not active, right? So rm container ID. So I have removed my container. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run same command. Just I'm going to pass -e environment variable MySQL root password is equal to root 123. Now if you give Docker PS, your container is launched. Why previously it is not launched means you need to specify any one of this parameter to launch your database container. That's what now I have given -e is environment variable. I'm just giving the password. Fine. Okay. So this is your passing environment variable. Any doubts in this? I guess this is very easy. So fine. Now, as per this 13 scenarios, okay, first one is done, second one is done, third one is done, sixth one is done, eighth one is done. Fine. Now, how to back up and restore the container? Here I will show you. Okay, Docker. Yes, you can pass. Okay. See, I'm just why I'm jumbling here and there means one easy topic, one tough topic, one easy, one tough, like this. Okay. Now, Docker file example. Okay. I'll write one more Docker file, very easy Docker file for Nginx. Okay. MKDIR. Nginx is also one type of web server like Apache. So CD Nginx, VI, and your Docker file should like this. Should Nginx. Now from is a source. I'm just going to use Nginx latest version itself. Then maintainer is who has created this Docker file. Okay. Next is I'll mark. I'll explain. Okay. This is very simple Docker file. See here, from is the source. Okay, maintainer who has created the Docker file, working directory. Go to this directory inside your container. Okay, and copy index.html file which is in local should be copied to this path. That is what I'm using, copy. Okay, again from is source, maintainer who has created the Docker file, in working directory is in container, go to this path, copy index.html file which is in local machine to this path as index.html. Okay, see here now vi index.html. This is my test Docker file. Just now I created, right? Okay, so now I'm just creating a index.html file in my local file, local path. Okay, so now if you go and check here, from latest version maintainer, go to this path, copy the index.html file as index.html file in this path. Okay, so if you go now, docker build -t my nginx dot is where your Docker file is present. Okay, now this index file copied to this path. Okay, now if you go now, docker run -itd -name my nginx -p. I'll use 9000. I'll use 80 and your image name. Now if you give docker ps, your container is launched in the port number 9000. So now you are getting, this is my test Docker file. This is very simple Docker file. Okay. What is source? This nginx is that it will pull from Docker Hub. Nginx. Nginx. So I'm asking to pull from latest version. I'm just going to pull latest version. These are all version in Nginx. that is source, right? You can use as per your wish. Fine. Fine. Okay. This is one Docker file reference. So this I'll tell later. Next, we'll go for how to backup and restore the container. Okay, how to backup and restore your container. So Docker PS. Now I'm just going to take backup of this container. Okay. Docker commit ID my backup. Okay. So Docker commit. This is your container ID. This is your backup name. Okay. Done. Now, if you give Docker images, your container is backed as image. Okay. Now, my backup dot tar and your image name. Docker save -o. Your where you need to take the backup. This is your image name. Okay. Your image will be converted into tar format. Tar is one Linux format. Like in Windows, we will call it as zip, right? In Linux, we'll call it as tar. Now, your container is backup as an one tar file. Now, this tar file you can move or you can keep anywhere you want. Fine. Then how to load Docker load -i my backup dot tar my backup image. This is to restore your image. Docker load -i your file name in what name you want your image. That's it. So I'll post this command. Kala, yes, we can do it. Yes, we can do it. I'll tell you. Okay. So now this is backup and restore of your container. Okay. So out of 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 we have done. So I want to continue or I want to stop it. Enough. Fine. Fine. Great. Done. Super. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So except Prabhanjan, so everyone is saying continue.
Sir, one small doubt, sir.
Tell me, Abhishek.
Sir, that when you are building the image, right, you are mentioning the port, right, from where you are running it, 9,000 and all you gave, right?
Ah,
So you gave one this what to say double dot also, right? There 9,000 and then so what is the significance of that? I wanted to know.
oh, okay. So no, good Abhishek. At least you have asked me. I thought I was waiting that someone will ask this doubt or not, but no one has asked. Okay. See here, 9,000 is your container port. So 9,000 is your application that you are exposing to the public, and another 90 is your container port, host port, and your container port. Understood?
Okay, so understood. Means it's like from where you are exposing it and what should be visible like that, right? So
Correct, correct, correct.
okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. See now, I'll let's see. Now, see now, Docker run hyphen itd hyphen name container one. I'm giving hyphen p sttpd. What will happen? I didn't give any port. What will happen? Now see here, I'm just giving
You will
hyphen
assign.
caps p. Okay, what will happen? No, actually, if you are giving hyphen p means your Docker will randomly will assign your port. Here, so this might be your interview question. What is difference between small hyphen p and what is difference between hyphen caps p? Okay. Now Docker ps. See now they are assigning. They are giving me this port number 32768. Okay. So this is the difference. Okay. See if you are not giving the version name, by default Docker will take only the latest version. If you want specific version, then you have to tell to the will tell to the Docker about the version like httpd colon 15.3 like this. Okay. Bharat first. Understood? Thank you. Okay. So which one we can go? Okay. I'll go for link Docker. Okay. See here. This is your Ubuntu machine. This is Docker. This is WordPress. DB, and this is WordPress. So I guess everyone knows what is WordPress. WordPress is one application. Okay. For WordPress, you require one database. So now you have two containers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make communication between these two containers. How you can do is using one keyword called link. So link is used to communicate two container if they are in same network. Okay. So now I'll talk about this network later. Just we will see network later. Okay. Now what is the purpose of link is? Link is used to communicate between two containers, and if you are giving link, that means your two container will communicate each other in secure way. Okay, let's see. Already our DB container is running, right? Already we have launched our DB, which is MySQL. Now I'm just going to I'm going to launch this container alone. Okay. Here I have given here. Okay, see here. Docker run -d is background. This is your name of your container, and I'm using -link. Okay, this is your DB container name. This is your DB container name, and MySQL is WordPress MySQL variable. Okay, this is the default variable. Okay, -p is port number. In which port number I'm using? 8080, and this is your image, WordPress image name. Okay. What is that MySQL? MySQL is WordPress MySQL default variable. Okay, now using this word, this link, I am just connecting my MySQL database and my WordPress container. Okay, and this MySQL is WordPress MySQL default variable. Okay, now if I give Docker PS, my WordPress is launched in port number 8080. So here 8080. Okay, so here you have to give your site title is Docker class, username, admin, password, admin 123. Admin 123. Okay, now any image. Okay, I'll our trending one. Media, post, all post. See, this is not for Docker and all, just to show you. Okay, now if I access 8080, you will get this. Okay, this is you are launching, you are linking your WordPress and MySQL container. What is the if why you are using link means if you are giving hyphen link, that will make your two container will communicate each other in secure way. Okay, clear? This is linking your container like this. Now I have linked my application server and application and my database. So like this, you can link whatever. If two container wants to speak, then you can use link. Fine. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So then, okay. So now I'll stop with this. Okay. Why? Because this troubleshooting Docker file one, and here I have missed one thing. I have showed you that. Okay, fine. So now troubleshooting Docker file. Next, Docker networking, Docker Compose, how one real time, because I have my own company's Docker file to show you how to do it. I'll show you. Okay. So this class, yeah, volume from is pending. Okay. So that class will be hardly 1 hour, very maximum. 40 to 45 minutes, 45 minutes to 1 hour. Maximum it will take 40 to maximum 45 minutes. I can finish it up. Okay. So still I have one 45 minutes of class, very maximum I'm saying. Okay. So we have seen these many concepts in Docker. Okay. That's what, if you want to link two containers, then you need link, right? If you want to two containers to communicate each other, then you'll use link. Suppose one web server needs to talk with app server, you need link. Some application need to talk with your database, you need link, right? If I need to talk with you, you need Zoom. Same. If I don't want to talk with you, that's it. I'll be standalone, you will be standalone. That's it. Correct? Fine. So how is Docker so far? That will be our task. So how is Docker so far? Easy. Fine. Okay. So I'll open questionnaire session now. So any doubts? What is difference between microservice and monolithic? Anyone can say me? See, that is very important question. What is difference between microservices and monolithic? Let me show. Let me see whether I have that document. This one will be good. Bharatwaj, this one will be good. Correct. Rajesh, you are correct. See, in very simple term, mono means single. Okay, that is suppose all your functionality will be in same file, like your application, like your web server functionality, app server functionality, database functionality, all will be in same file. So that is mono. Whereas in microservice, you are just splitting your application or you are splitting your services into different services, so that in monolithic, if something goes wrong in one file, then it will affect your total application. Whereas in microservices, if one services is down also, your other services will work fine. So in Docker, we will all use microservices application, because we are moving for Docker for lightweight applications. That's it. So mono means single, where in single file all your functionality will be there. Okay. Whereas in microservices, you are splitting your application into small services. In mono, if something goes wrong in single file, then your total domain or total application will be down. Whereas in microservices, if one service is down also, your other services will work fine. That's what in real time, not in real time, in Docker we'll go for microservices based application. Again, Bharatwaj has shared you one URL, right? This URL will be very good. Just go through this. As I said, in single file, everything will be there. So if something goes wrong in this, then your total application will be down. Whereas in microservices, you are just splitting into different small services. So if this service is down, this other two services will work fine. That's what now many people are moving into microservices. From monolithic to microservices application, conversion will be done by your developer. This is not our headache, but still you have to know what is microservices based application. Okay. Fine. So I'll share this link. I already Bharatwaj has shared you this link. Anyway, you just go through it. Hardly it will take 5 to 10 minutes. Yes. It will be different container. Okay. Now, so I'll introduce the hero now. See, once after now we are working in one single machine, right? But in real time, suppose think that if this EC2 instance is gone, then your total container is down, correct? So in real time, what we will do is we will create one cluster environment. That cluster environment you can do it in two ways. One using Docker Swarm, another using Kubernetes. Okay. So what is Docker Swarm? It's Docker Swarm is for creating cluster environment in Docker. Whereas Kubernetes is Google application, which we'll call it as orchestration tool. Okay. What is orchestration tool means? Here we are dealing with 5 to 6 containers, so it is very easy. Just think that in real time you will have n number of containers. So to manage your containers, to deploy your containers, for auto healing your containers, for cluster based environment, people will go for Kubernetes. Again, if you have Kubernetes in your skills, then you are like Corona, means you are trending in your DevOps market, right? So Kubernetes is little bit advanced than Docker. If you know Kubernetes, I can I can sure I can give you assurance also that you will get lots of openings. Okay, because right now many peoples are moving to Kubernetes. That's what I said. The work we will do it in Docker is very less after this Kubernetes. Okay, then people will ask me why you are not teaching Kubernetes in DevOps topic, right? Because Kubernetes is very big tool. I can say you cannot restrict Kubernetes in 3 to 4 hours of sessions. Okay, to teach at least 60 to 70% of Kubernetes, I need at least 10 hours. Again, for some people, this Docker itself will be overloaded. So if I teach you one more tool, for some people it will be too overloaded. So that's what we have not included Kubernetes in our DevOps tool. Okay, fine. So that's what I said. Orchestration will be done using Kubernetes. Okay. So any other doubts? So still we have like 40 minutes of session. Okay. Again, so now you would have understood why people are moving to Docker container, right? So here we are not installing any softwares. Just we are just picking, just we are pulling our image and we are just launching the container. That's it. So we can start and stop the application within 2 seconds, right? And the size is also very less, right? The size is, so that's here. This is just T2 micro instance. So in T2 micro instance itself, I have launched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 containers, right? So still I can launch 3 more container as well. Okay. That's what people are moving to Docker. That's what people are moving to Kubernetes. Okay. Fine. Any other doubts? Again, I'll give you 2 minutes of time. Just go and check whether you are able to get that, how to get that recording session, so that don't ask to Karthik. Karthik will get irritated. That's what I'm telling continuously. Okay. Fine. Okay. So practice this session. You will get. Okay. Then how we are going, see here again, I'll tell you just what, just everyone, that's what I'm just telling. No, I didn't upload the video there. I didn't upload the video there. I have to load the video. Okay, I'm just telling you how to navigate it. That's what I'm just giving you. Again, just for everyone, just take a DevOps training in Chennai, go to our institute. Gone. DevOps training in Chennai. Then go down. Here you will find. Okay. Do like this. Clear? Yes. Because we want to keep like this so that it will be very easy for everyone. Okay, so once we are sending that your Docker file is ready, so that get download from here and download within 1 or 2 hours, because we will delete it. Okay, don't delay. Fine. So I guess this will be very easy, right? This will be very easy, I guess. Okay, fine. So do it and just tell me any doubts again. For all, you can call me. I am ready to help you. Okay, I'm ready to help you. And don't see, if you know this much in Docker. Yesterday we have seen. Yesterday we have seen some installation of basics, commands and all, how to install Docker, what is microservices, and why we need to go for Docker and all. So if you know these many things, I'm damn sure you can clear in most of the interviews. Okay, just go through it, and again, if I miss something, just tell me. Okay, so I'll paste in group. Just someone can just note down in your laptop. If something I have missed, just let me know. So next week it will be like 40 minutes of 40 to 45 minutes of session. Okay, then we'll wind up this Docker. Okay, fine. Okay, see here, your task is now. See, I said you this Docker file will be given by your developer. Okay, so these are all keywords which we will use it in Docker file. Okay, so already I taught you from, run, cmd, expose, copy, working directory. All this I taught you, right? So now your task is the most asked interview question. What is difference between CMD and entry point? Entry point and CMD. Okay, very simple. If you are not able to get the answer, I will show you with the real time if you need it. Okay, I'll show you what will be the difference. But still, don't miss this interview question. This is most widely used interview question. CMD and entry point. Then what is difference between add versus copy? Then ARG versus ENB. So all these are keywords which we will use it in Docker file. Okay, already I have shown you something. Okay, still just get answer for this and tell me. Okay, then what is Docker proof? Then I already showed you how to share data to multiple containers. Okay, so just go through all this, and I'll share you this video in that file, my yesterday session as well. So any doubts you can call me. Fine. So I guess you would have got some idea in Docker. So we have seen almost today 2 hours session, yesterday 2 hours session. So at least some idea would have got it. So just go through it and let me know. Fine. Thanks. Yes, yes. I'll share you. Don't worry.